Hello, I am Pramod Kumar. Today we will study macroeconomics, chapter in income determination. In that we will discuss two items, ex ante, ex post, and movement along a curve versus shift of a curve. Right now you should not pay attention to this. This has been done to save time, right? So in macroeconomics, what do we do? The basic objective of macroeconomics is to develop theoretical tools, models, as we had discussed earlier. Tools called models capable of describing the processes which determine the values of these variables, right? Specifically, the models attempt to provide theoretical explanation of what? Of questions such as what causes periods of recession, right? Slow growth, recession, or what causes increment in the price level? Why does the price level go up? Or why does unemployment rise? So in order to do this, what we do, we always try to keep one variable moving and others as constant at one point of time, so that we can observe the impact of that variable in that particular model. And then we keep this variable as constant and the other variable we vary and see what is the outcome in the model applied, used, right? So that is called other things remaining equal or constant. So we are varying one, keeping others constant. That is called other things remaining equal, other things, not that which we are varying, right? In this chapter we will deal with determination of national income, how national income is determined. Under the assumption, there are two assumptions. What are those assumptions? Fixed price of final goods. The price of final goods is not undergoing a change, and constant rate of interest in the economy. Rate of interest is neither going down nor going up, right? These are the two assumptions. First we will try to understand ex ante and post ante, ex post, ex ante, ex post. Here see, in the economy we find consumption, investment, these kind of things. So suppose I will give you a very simple example to make it clear what it is. Suppose we are in 2020-21, this is the financial year, and we are talking during 2019-2020, 100 crore was the consumption plus investment. We are in 2020-21, this is the financial year, and we are talking about the last year, previous year, that 100 crore was the consumption plus investment in the economy. So this is called ex post, right? What has already happened, which we are talking about, is called ex post, right? Now we come to ex ante. Suppose in the economy the firms have decided in 2021 to invest 1000 crore, right? The firms in the economy have decided during this year, during 2020-21, to invest during the next year 2021-22 1,000 crores. So what they plan is called ex ante. Ante means before, Post means after. So when we talk what was the consumption investment last year, that is called ex post. It has already passed. When we talk about what they are going to invest next year, what they plan to invest next year, that is called ex ante, before. They are planning, they are talking before the material time when they will be investing. Right? A simple example, suppose I have got a farm. I decide for the next year that I will invest 100 rupees in my inventory. It means next year my inventory should go up by 100 rupees. But what happens? Sales go up. So whatever I had produced, I sold, and out of that 100 rupees of inventory, I sold 25 rupees of inventory. So I am left with 75 rupees of inventory. So when I planned to invest 100 rupees, that was ex ante, ex ante. And the actual position is, what is that? 100 minus 25 is equal to 75. That is the ex post. What I planned is 100. What I actually achieved is 75. What I planned is ex ante. What I actually achieved at the end of the period is ex post. Right? In the economy, people are more interested in knowing what are the plans for investment, what are the plans for consumption. That way, people come to know about what is going to happen to the economy, what is going to happen to the GDP, gross domestic product. Suppose in Indian economy, there are 1000 firms. All of them decide this year that next year they will invest 10,000 crores. So, it will give a very good impression, correct impression, approximate impression, near perfect, what is going to happen to the Indian economy in the next year. What will happen to the GDP. So people are more interested in getting an inkling of what is going to happen to the economy. Right? So ex ante, ex post, we have understood fully well. Right? Ex ante, what the firms in the economy planned. Ex post, what was the final outcome at the end of the period. Right? So, now we go to slightly complicated things. Right? Now we'll go to what is the marginal propensity to consume. Right? The ratio of consumption, the ratio of additional consumption to additional income. Right? Suppose income is going to increase from 0 to y. Right? So what is the marginal propensity to consume? That is C y minus 0 is equal to C dot y. Since this is 0, so this is C marginal propensity to consume. Additional expenses on consumption as a ratio of additional increase in income. And suppose we take 1 minus marginal propensity to consume, what do we get? We get marginal propensity to save. Whatever we get additional income, either it is consumed or it is invested. Right? So how do we get the final figures for the, you will notice that at any point of time, if the income is 0, consumption will not be 0. People need to consume to live, to survive. So some subsistence level of consumption will be there even out of their savings which they have kept or whatever. But it cannot be 0. Right? So what happens? Here what do we need to do? Suppose that is C bar, so it will be C bar plus Cy. This is the, we cannot assume that consumption will be from 0 to, even if it is 0, some subsistence level of consumption will be there. C bar is subsistence level of consumption plus C into Y. So this is marginal propensity to consume, and if you minus it from 1, we get marginal propensity to save. So that marginal propensity to consume is between 0 and 1, right? 0 and 1. And what remains out of 1 is marginal propensity to save. But you will notice that whatever people get, everything is not disposable income. We have already discussed earlier. The element of tax is there, right? So what is disposable income? In the economy, whatever people get in their hands is not the disposable income. They are not free to spend all that on their consumption items. So disposable income is equal to income minus tax. So finally you will find that, what do we come to? Finally we come to Y is equal to C subsistence level of consumption plus I. We have assumed that they will keep on investing a certain item or fixed item per year, plus expenses by the government, right, plus C Y minus T, right? What is this? Aggregate supply in the market, and this shows demand side, right? Demand comes from consumption. What is this consumption? Subsistence level of consumption. What is this investment? We have assumed that firms will keep on investing a certain amount per year, plus government expenditure, plus C into the Y minus T. Whatever people got, we have deducted tax. So this comes to supply side, this comes to demand side. This is the final equation, right? Now we talk about movement along a curve versus movement shift of a curve, right? Movement along a curve and shift of a curve, both are different things. This is movement along a curve. It was here, it has moved here, and this is shift of a curve. It was here, it has shifted, right? So here the formula is B is equal to MA plus E, right? So here you will find A and B. These are the two variables. A is on horizontal, B is on the vertical, right? And the formula is B is equal to MA plus E. M is greater than 0 and is called the slope of the curve. Slope of the straight line, sorry. M is greater than 0 and is called slope of the straight line, right? Then E is greater than 0, E is greater than 0 and is the intercept on the vertical line. This is the intercept. Greater than 0, slope of the straight line. This is intercept on the vertical line. This is the intercept, right? E. Both of these, M and E, remain in the background because They are not mentioned as variables. They are not treated as variables here. They are treated as in the background. But they have got a very important role to play. Suppose if when A increases by 1 unit, B increases by M, right? When A increases by 1 unit, B increases by M units, M into A, right? So here what we will do, we will keep M as variable and will keep E as constant at 2, right? And M variable, there are two values for M. One value is 0.5, another value is 1, right? So here you will find M is 0.5. So the formula is B is equal to 0.5A plus 2, right? What is that? 0.5A means half of A. Suppose this is A is 20. So what is half of A? 10. Plus 2, 12, right? So if you move through this straight line, if you come to this above 20, when you meet here, it will be around 12, right? Around 12, above 12, below 15. Once again, B is equal to MA plus E. We have kept the formula. What is M? M is greater than 0 and it is the slope of the straight line. What is E? E is greater than 0 and it is the vertical intercept on the vertical line B. Here we keep E as constant at 2. E as constant at 2, right? And vary M, vary the value of M. One value is 0.5, another is 1. So here B is equal to 0.5A plus 2. 0.5A, suppose we take 15. This is A, horizontal is A. Suppose we take 15. What is half of 15? 7.5 plus 2, 9.5. So when you go up, you will come to this. And this point will be around 9.5, right? Below 10, right? Now, when the value of M is changed from 0.5 to 1, what happens? This straight line shifts up because half A has become A, right? 0.5A has become A, E remains constant at 2. So now you see here, B is equal to A plus 2. This is A. Suppose you take 25. A plus 2, 25 plus 2, 27. So you will come somewhere around here, right? And you will come to 27. Or take another one, 10. So B is equal to A plus 2. A is 10 plus 2, 12. If you go above this, you will find you are at somewhere near 12, right? So when there is an increase in the value of M, this straight line shifts upwards, right? But vertical intercept remains the same. Vertical intercept, so how we read it? We read it, a positively sloping straight line swings upwards as the slope is doubled. What we have doubled? We have doubled M, and M is the slope of the straight line, right? Okay? It is called a positively sloping straight line swings upwards when its slope is doubled from 0.5 to 1 we have done. So the vertical intercept remains at 5, but what does it do? It swings upwards. So we go to the next one, this one. Here what do we see? Here slightly different treatment we have given. What we have done, we have kept m as constant at 0.5, right? M we have kept as constant as 0.5, and E we have changed from 2 to 3, right? So what happens then? You see, what is E? E is the vertical intercept. So here M, what is M? Slope of the straight line. Slope of this straight line. Here also it is 0.5. Here also it is 0.5. B is equal to MA plus E. B is equal to MA plus E. M is 0.5. M is 0.5. A remains as it is, and E. What is E? Vertical intercept. It increases from 2 to 3. Then what happens? Here vertical intercept was constant at 5. It has not changed. Here vertical intercept 2, 3, 3. Vertical intercept has increased. So when the vertical intercept has increased, the straight line has shifted. It has not swing upwards. It's not swing upwards. It has shifted. This total line has become here. It has shifted to, right? So when we have kept slope of the straight line as constant and we have varied, what is this E? Vertical intercept, then it has shifted upwards, the straight line, and we call it a positively sloping straight line shifts upwards in parallel as its intercept is increased, right? It has shifted in parallel as intercept has increased from 2 to 3, right? So this is called parametric shift of a graph. Here we are trying to understand how to read a graph, right? Then we go to the next one. Here what is happening? There are two variables, x and y, right? There are two variables, x and y. Horizontal is x, vertical is y. So here the values are, for this line y is equal to z minus x, and for this line upward going straight line y is equal to 1 plus x. So here z appears as an intercept parameter. Here in this z appears as an intercept parameter. It is not a variable. What are the two variables? X and y. And z appears as an intercept parameter. And for increasing values of z starts from here 0. For increasing values of z, what happens? This line keeps on shifting parallel and moves along this line, this one, right? For increasing values of z, here z is equal to z1, z is equal to z2, z is equal to z3, and z is equal to z4, right? For increasing values of z starting from 0, the first straight line will undergo parallel upward shift, right? When the value of z keeps on increasing, here it was z, here it is 1, 2, 3, 4. When the value of z increases, what happens? Here the value of z is 1, here the value of z is 2, 3, 4, which we have written, right? When the value of z increases, what happens? The first line will undergo parallel shift, upward shift, parallel upward shift, parallel upward shift, right? As shown in this figure, right? Consequently, its points of interaction, what are the points of interaction? These are the points of interaction of z. Interaction with the second straight line, will move up, right? See, the point of interaction is moving up. It was here, then it came here. For Z1 it was here, for Z2 it is here, for Z3 it is here, for Z4 it is here. It keeps on moving up. Parallel shift, moving up, right? Will move up along the second line. This is called the second line. And this is one line which gradually shifts from here to there to there, right? Then suppose we want to find the relationship between x and what? X and z equilibrium. So you will notice the change here. In this, z is a parameter. Z is not a variable, right? X and y are parameters, but here z is a parameter. What are the parameters? X and z. What are the variables? X and z. Here the variables were x and y. In this, z was not a variable, it was a parameter. But here, z has become a variable along with x on the horizontal line, z being on the vertical line. And here the value of z is equal to 1 plus 2x. X star 1, x star 2, x star 3, z1, z2, z3, right? So what does it show? We are trying to find out the relationship between z and equilibrium values of x. These are the equilibrium values of x at different points on the horizontal axis x, right? This can be obtained by plotting x1, z1, x2, z2, x3, z3 like this. x1, z1, x2, z2, x3, z3. And this is the plotting that we have done, right? Now, on a figure depicting these variables, x and z are the variables. On the horizontal and vertical respectively, here you will note that xy plane, z was being treated as a parameter. These are the parameters. These are the variables. Right? But in the xz plane, this is the xz plane. What has happened? Z is a variable in its own right. Z is a variable. It varies from 0 to z1 to z2 to z3 and so on. Right? What we have essentially done here, we are trying to do, what do we try to do? We try to understand the graphs, how to read the graphs, how to do the models in macroeconomics by keeping one variable constant and moving others. That initially we called other things remaining the same, right? So, what we have done, kept z as constant while dealing with x and y. We have kept z as constant when we are dealing with x and y, right? And then dealing with it in the second equation solved y in terms of x, right? Here we have y in terms of x we have solved, right? Then we have plugged this solution in the first equation to derive the relationship between x and z, right? So in this, y is a parameter, in this z is a parameter, right? And these kind of things we will keep on doing all through this chapter, right? So I hope it was clear. This is formula is B is equal to ma plus E, right? M is the slope of the straight line, is a positive greater than 0. E is the vertical intercept. This is also greater than 0, right? So in this, here we have kept the value of M as 0.5 and 1, doubled. We have doubled the value of M. So, and E we have kept constant at 2. B is equal to MA plus E. B is equal to MA plus E. M is 1. M is half, right? So when, what happens when the, what is M? What is M? What slope of the straight line. So when M is increased, it swings, the straight line swings upwards. But here when this changes, what changes? E is equal to, what is that? Vertical intercept. When it changes from 2 to 3, the straight line shifts upwards, right? And here we have seen the relationship between x and y and equilibrium between x and z, right? And this was regarding income determination in the economy. I hope you found it easy to understand. In case of any difficulty, you may please approach me on my email ID, which will be there at the thumbnail to the video. Thank you.